how to stay strong and never give up. What if the strength you seek isn't gone, just sleeping beneath the weight of your doubt? What if the key to rising again is not found outside, but deep within your memories? And what if you've never really lost your power, just forgotten the sound of your own courage? In a small town where dusty streets met quiet sunsets, a young boy named Abraham sat alone by the window, his eyes fixed on nothing, his heart caught between exhaustion and silence. Once, he had been the boy who woke up excited, with paint-stained fingers and wide-eyed dreams. But now, the colors of life had faded to gray. Schoolwork piled high. Exams loomed like clouds that never rained. And the pressure to be perfect in grades, in time, in everything, pressed on his chest like a stone. He still loved painting, the way the brush danced across the canvas like wind through trees. But lately, he barely touched his art. Too tired, too behind, too defeated. The joy he once felt had slipped through his fingers like sand, and all that remained was the weight. One evening, as dusk spilled golden light through the curtains, Abanov's grandfather noticed his stillness. With quiet steps, he sat beside him and asked gently, "Abanov, you seem far away today. What's troubling your heart, my boy?" The words cracked something open. Abanov spoke slowly at first, then like a river released, of school, of pressure, of how tired he felt pretending to be fine. His grandfather listened, not with answers, just presence. And when the silence returned, he said, "Let me tell you a story of a warrior, a gentle one, with a long memory and a mighty heart. Long ago, he began, in a great kingdom surrounded by jungles and sunlit fields, lived an elephant, not just any elephant, but the king's own companion. He had marched into battle with courage. He had carried warriors through fire and fear, and though his body was strong, it was his loyalty that made him great. But time, as it always does, changed things. Years passed, the wars ended. The elephant, now old, was retired, not forgotten, but honored. He spent his days near the royal pond, drinking water and basking in the sun. One day he stepped too far into the pond and became trapped in thick sinking mud. He pulled, he thrashed, but the more he moved, the deeper he sank. Exhausted, confused, and far from the battlefield he once knew, he gave up. The king's servants searched. When they found him, their cries filled the air. The elephant was alive, but barely stuck, still, spirit broken. The king arrived, heart heavy. He called for ropes, pulled with teams of oxen, but nothing worked. Then, a monk happened to pass by, a man of peace, known across the land for wisdom that calmed storms. He observed the elephant, and then said something unusual. "Bring the drums, bring the trumpets of war." Confused, they obeyed, and as the drums thundered, and the trumpets sang the songs of old battles, something stirred. The elephant's ears twitched, his eyes widened. That sound, it was the sound of who he used to be, of fire, of loyalty, of triumph, and with a mighty cry, the elephant rose, pulling himself from the mud as if lifted by memory itself. Abrahamov's eyes lifted wide with wonder. His grandfather leaned closer. "You see, my boy, there was never a lack of strength in that elephant. What he lacked was remembrance. Sometimes, when we're pulled down by the mud of life, by pressure, by fear, by expectation, we forget who we really are. We don't need new strength, we just need to remember our old strength." Abanov sat in silence, but it wasn't the silence of defeat anymore. It was the silence before a spark. He remembered the times he stayed up painting all night because the ideas wouldn't stop. He remembered acing a test he once feared. He remembered the courage of trying, before the pressure came. That night he didn't fix everything, but he did one thing. He took out his brushes, not to be perfect, just to remember. Moral of the story: the world may try to measure your worth in numbers, scores, awards, outcomes, but your true strength, it's not in what you achieve, it's in what you refuse to give up on, even when everything tells you to. We all get stuck sometimes. We all forget who we are, but like the elephant, your strength has not left you. It's waiting quietly for the sound of your own courage to awaken it again. So the next time you feel stuck, bring back your drums, remember your victories, and rise. If this story reminded you of your inner strength, the part of you that endures, even in silence, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Whispers Within. And tell us in the comments, what awakens your fighting spirit when life tries to hold you down. Because sometimes, the greatest battles are not fought outside, they're fought, and won, in the quiet corners of your own heart. And always remember, never give up. Your strength isn't gone, it's just waiting to hear your courage again.